Well, it's about time I make this review. Yep. Hello everyone. I'm Th0m4s575, and welcome to my review of Pragmata. Now, this game has kind of a weird history dating back to June of 2020. This game was first announced back in June of 2020, and was originally supposed to come out in 2022. But then the game got delayed to 2023, and then it wasn't until 2025 where the game would have gotten an official release year of 2026, and so then later on, the game got a full release date of I think of April 24th. But then I guess I don't know. I guess the publishers decided to release it a week earlier than anticipated, because then the new release date became April 17th of 2026, which I'm not complaining. It's just that I found it a bit weird. Like, they had a planned release date at this point, so why did they go and change it at the last second? Like, again, I'm not complaining. It's just I found it weird. But yeah, the game's out now, and now that I've played it, it's one hell of a game, I tell you. But before I do get started on this review, I just want to quickly mention that I will be making a lot of comparisons between this game and Donkey Kong Bonanza. I know this game is almost a year old at this point, but there are a lot of similarities between these two games. But, well, not a lot. There's kind of a few, which I will mention. But I guess a major difference between this game and Pragmata is the age ratings, because Donkey Kong Bonanza is rated E10+, while Pragmata is rated T. Pragmata definitely has more of a mature tone Pragmata definitely has more of a mature tone, while Donkey Kong Bonanza has more of a lighthearted tone. And that's going to be important, and this is going to be important, because, okay, I'll get into the review and I'll explain as I go along. One last thing. There will be spoilers ahead, so click away from this video now if you don't. Actually, you know what? I feel like this routine where I say there will be spoilers, because for you guys, because I say there will be spoilers, and then the title is titled that there are spoilers. So, why am I mentioning that there's gonna be spoilers ahead for this review when I've already put in the title that there are gonna be spoilers ahead in this review? Like, I mean, does that even make sense? Does that even make sense to you guys? Like, why do I need to say that there are spoilers if there's obviously going to be spoilers when I obviously say there's spoilers in the title? Well, anyway, okay, enough stalling. Let's get down to it. So the opening, so the game opens up with a crew from the Delphi Corporation. We have our main protagonist, Hugh, and his partners, Nicholas and Ken, and then the captain of the squad, James. And they don't stick too don't stick around very long because a few minutes later they instantly die. Yeah, I don't think that's much of a I don't think that's much of a surprise considering it'd be kind of hard to um it'd be kind of hard to keep all four characters around considering it take up too much time for the script. So yeah, and especially since two of the characters' faces aren't even shown, which is another thing that. Right. So I should mention before most of the crew dies, a moonquake strikes the moon. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. The entire story takes place on the cradle, which is a sort of a space base on the moon, essentially. It's basically an entire research station where they specialize in using a type of where they research in a special type of ore only found on the moon, which they've dubbed Th0m, which is used to make lunafilament, which is used which you can use which is basically used to print anything you can imagine. And this will be important later. So right. So yeah, Hugh. So everyone in the crew dies except for Hugh, who is barely still hanging on. And it's not until that we, and it's not until a girl finds Hugh and saves his life. By repairing a hole in his suit. But then the ship's but then the Cradle's AI, Edis, seems to have gone haywire as it immediately orders the Walker. Oh yeah, the Walker. Oh yeah, the bots in this game are kind of the bots in this game are kind of there's many variants, and the Walker's just one, but this is this is one of those only instances where it's where Edith actually says the name of the bot rather than just calling it a bot. Which not that I'm complaining, but it's nice to know that the bots actually have names. Kind of like how the Void Company corporate soldiers in Donkey Kong Bonanza also have unique names. It's just they're hidden in. It's just they're. It's just you never see them like through files or anything. It's just they're only mentioned when you go into challenges and stuff like that. But for Pragmata, you actually do learn the names of the bots through a computer, which is unlocked later at the shelter, which is basically your main base of operations. Right. So the girl reveals that she has hacking skills which can expose the bots' weak points, which gives you an advantage to destroy it because the bots are kind of hard to damage, considering their bodies are like made of. Considering the bots are made of lunafilament, and it's kind of hard to dent them, essentially. Um, Right. So right after Hugh finds out that the captain is dead as well, um, the duo goes off to the duo goes off and the duo finds a tram and board it, which sets its destination toward the shelter. It's here where it's here where Hugh learns about who this girl is. So if you couldn't guess already, this is Di 03. This is Di 03367. Um, and she is a pragmata that was made at the cradle, who possesses basic life saving information. But then of course, Hugh can't memorize Di 03367 because I mean that's kind of I mean I don't blame Hugh here. That's kind of a bit of a mouthful if you ask me. Uh, and yeah, it took me, and yeah, I'll admit it also took me a while to memorize, but then eventually I got it down. So I'm able to say the serial the designation number very clearly now. So I guess it wouldn't take you. I'm probably guess. So it probably wouldn't have taken that long for Hugh to memorize it. But you do you, game. I guess. Um. So because the name is too freaking hard to memorize, Hugh suggests that if she will accept being called Diana, which okay. I don't like okay not I'm not saying that this is a bad choice for an alias, but why exactly did Hugh pick the name Diana out of all names? Like, how do you get Diana from Di 03367? Like I've asked this question on Discord, and I barely got any legitimate responses from this. And even here on YouTube, I've even asked that question, and there's still not a very clear answer. Like I've seen some theories, probably I've seen some theories about through development and how it correlates um, to certain aspects of culture, but I don't know. This is just something that I find weird. Like again, I'm not saying the name is a bad I'm not saying the alias is a bad decision by any means. It's just I find it a bit weird. Um anyway, so Diane so yeah, the Pragmata now accepting the name Diana, they prepare themselves at the shelter, which, as I've mentioned earlier, is their base of operation. Well, it's the main place where you gear up. Basically, um, whenever you're ready to head out, then that's the place where it's the place where you'll be spending a lot of your time at. Upgrading and making new weapons and stuff like that. So so the first destination so yeah the first area, which are called sectors in the game. Yeah, the first sector that the duo go off to is the solar power plant to try and restore power to the place. Since the power seems to have been cut off everywhere by the moonquake. Um, um, so yeah, a lot of stuff happens, but then the duo fight off more bots, and then they come across a half printed globe which Diana can't help but admire. So so yeah, Hugh finds this weird, and then notices that only half of it's displaying because of a broken Luna filament printer. But since the data is still intact, he can use this to print up a new one back at the shelter. Which right, I should probably explain what this is. So these things that these things that are supposed to remind you of Earth are called read Earth memories, or REMs for short. Although I don't know why they couldn't just call them REMs, since that's kind of what REM spells out. Like why not just say REM? Again, another thing that I found weird. Like again, REM is a bit of a mouthful. So right. So the duo finally makes it to the place where they can restore the power, but then Edis activates another bot at them, which they successfully manage to destroy. And Diana also gets the ability to gets the overdrive ability, which is an ability that's used to it's basically an ability that allows her to stop bots from acting for a certain amount of time while also dealing damage. Again, it's a thing. So after the bot's destroyed, Hugh introduces Diana to a high five, which he says is used to express that they did a good job. And because Diana is an android, Pragmata is an android. So yeah, because Diana's a Pragmata, she doesn't fully understand this and accepts it into her data banks, I guess. Sorry, this is a bit hard to explain. So throughout the course of the game, Diana slowly starts to become more and more human. Because even though she's a robot, she's able to understand she's able to understand human thoughts more and more as the game progresses. And this is just a small instance of one of those things. So yeah, anyway, after yeah, the power's restored, but and now they're able to go into the next area, or sorry, the next sector of the cradle, the mass production array, which is basically a it's basically supposed to be like a Luna filament, a printed copy of New York City, essentially. So yeah. So yeah, if you couldn't guess already, the solar power plant is a bit of a short area in the game, since I'm guessing it's just supposed to teach you the basics on how the game works and all that. The rest of the rest of the sectors in this game are really long. So yeah, if you thought that was short, then if you thought the game was gonna be short, then oh boy, think again. So anyway, the duo head off to the mass production array, where Edis puts a giant where Edis seals off the the area where Hugh is supposed to get in contact with Earth. The communications tower, I believe it was called. Yeah, because Hugh is supposed to get in touch with Earth, but is not able to do that because of Edis blocking off the way. So the duo goes and so the duo finds the radio towers that control the locks on the to where they need to go. The locks to basically the giant door, and they successfully manage to get through, but then they're confronted by another bot that is just massive, which I mean, it's the fight itself is really easy in my opinion. Like I didn't struggle fighting this thing at all. It's just like I like the fight. It's really easy. I don't really see, like I can understand players being terrified, or I guess not terrified, out by the size of this thing at first, but I mean it's really easy to take down. Like I really didn't have any problems with it. So anyway, after the after the duo destroy the bot, they get into the communications tower, but they're unable to contact Earth. And oh yeah, so earlier, when the duo first arrived in the area, Diana sees a projection of a cat and tries to chase it down, but then almost gets herself hurt. She almost falls off the edge, prompting Hugh to catch her and says that she has to be more careful when doing stuff like that. Which again is another example of Diana learning to become more human. Let's see. Oh yeah. So the cat starts talking, and it's here that there is another Pragmata named 8, who tells them that she needs help. So the duo head off back to the shelter and prepare to go to the third sector of the game, the Th0m. So yeah, we just went from a recreation of a city to an area where it's all focused on replicating plant life. Yeah, the areas just get weirder and weirder. Um, so once the duo managed to find 8 in the um in the Th0m, 8 tells them that she needs to be freed, as she is able to stop Edis, as she is able to shut down Edis, and she has a shutdown code stored in her memory. So the duo managed to free 8, but then Edis seals off the area in which but then Edis starts to seal off the area because of the biomaterial restraining 8 dissipated. So 8 quickly gives Diana the shutdown code, but of course there's no time to save 8. So Hugh quickly grabs Diana and gets through the door. So after fighting more bots and taking another one, and then taking another major one down, it's on to the fourth sector of the game, the Th0m mines. And okay, so this So this area in the game are filled with bots called Luna Diggers, and you may think that these things are a boss at first, but no, they're actually just bots that are exclusive to the area. They're just really hard to take down for some reason. Like I mean, like I initially when I first saw this thing, I my first immediate thought was that I was supposed to fight it, and I did take the first one down, but then there were just more and more popping up, and I'm like, oh wait, this isn't a boss. This is actually just this is actually just a normal this is actually just a normal and this is actually just a normal enemy in this game. Right. So the duo make it to so the duo managed to make it to where Edis is, the main terminal in which Edis is at. But when Edis tries to stop you and Diana from shutting it down, from shutting itself down, Diana activates the code, but something bizarre happens. Edis didn't get shut down. Instead, it got reprogrammed and says that 8's administration privileges have been restored. And this is where we find out plot, and this is where the plot twist of this game happens. So, okay, again, another thing I neglected to mention, but I'll mention it now. So earlier on in this sector, there seemed to have been a black hazardous material anywhere, and some sort of red substance attached itself onto a bot, which was hard to hack. And okay, so this stuff is called dead filament, and it turns out that, okay, no surprise, 8 is the twist villain of this game, and she has been using dead filament, and she's able to harness dead filament and essentially use it as a weapon. She's able to harness it and then spread it to wherever she desires. She's able to control it essentially, as any other being that touches it it immediately starts eating away at the cells of whatever it touches. So both Hugh and Diana get hit by the dead filament that 8 launches. So Hugh has to take Diana to experimental pragmatics, where Diana needs to get repaired. And it's here that we learn about Diana's past, as both her and 8 were created by Dr. Neil Higgins, who is essentially someone that was experimenting with a lot of work on the cradle, to find made the two pragmatas in order to find a cure for his ill daughter Daisy. This game just went full Sonic. Ow! This game just went full Sonic Frontiers on us in an instant. So Diana and 8, who were named DI-03367 and DI-33558 respectively, they were tasked with handling their main function. The main function they were supposed to serve is they were supposed to separate the dead filament from the Luna filament. They were supposed to extract the dead filament from the Luna filament, but but Diana, who was previously nicknamed Seven, uh, because of the last number in her serial designation, um, she was able to expunge the dead filament, but because this isn't what Dr. Higgins wanted, um, he placed Seven away in storage, where she would be taken out for a future experiment more suited to her capabilities. And to prevent more potential failures, her memory was also wiped, which is why throughout the course of the game, Diana says that she doesn't seem to know anything because, well, her memory got wiped. So, um, and but then later on, it's discovered that but then later on in the game, Daisy actually dies. Yeah, no surprise. But she did die from illness. She died from an experiment by Delphi Corporation, who covered who covered up the truth. So Dr. Higgins told Eight about the pain that he was going through in losing Daisy, and basically he didn't have anything and basically he had nothing left to live for, as now everyone he ever cared about has died. Oh yeah, this stuff is mentioned later on in the game. I just wanted to get this out of the way. So Eight decides to make sure that everyone knows what Dr. Higgins went through, and decides that she'll spread the dead filament everywhere on Earth. So after Diana learns the truth about her past, she realizes that she doesn't serve any purpose. To which then Hugh reminds her about the dream they have about going to Earth. And oh yeah, I forgot to. Oh yeah, I keep doing this. I'm really sorry, but earlier on in the Terra Dome, Hugh and Diana come across a hologram of an ocean, and that's where Diana finally makes a decision that her dream is to go to Earth with Hugh. So once Diana is fully repaired, is fully cleansed from the dead filament, um, a bot appears. So Hugh tries to protect Diana while she's getting finished patching up. But then Diana awakens, and she has gained the ability to cleanse. She's regained or gained the ability to filament. But the dead filament residing inside of Hugh, um, the dead filament inside of Hugh starts infecting him throughout. Starts getting through to him. So now Hugh doesn't have a lot of time left. So they must go and stop Eight while they have the time. And now here is where we get to the final sector of the game, the central port. And okay, I just want to say this right now. So the Luna Mines was the fourth sector of the game, but the central port is the sixth sector of the game. Yeah, sixth, mind you. Now, originally, I thought that the game glitched, or I accidentally somehow skipped out on a sector, because or I thought that this was just gonna be they were originally gonna enter, but then we're gonna get blocked off. But no, the game just plays out normally. So I mean, this is another thing that that bothers me. Why did it suddenly go from 4 to 6 in an instant? Like, okay, did the game start out in Sector 5 and then went to Sector and then went to Sector 1. This is never explained. I'm sorry. It's just another thing that's confusing. I know. Okay. The duo arrive and confront 8. Um, so and confront 8, who plans to use. Quick note. Jumping ahead. I jumped ahead a little bit. Sorry. So earlier, so before confronting 8, Hugh and Diana find a hologram. Depicting which shows scientists getting infected by dead filament and dissolving into this black dust. So Hugh asks Diana if it's possible to cleanse dead filament from a human, to which Diana says no. Once the dead filament starts eating at your cells, then there's basically no hope. And this is where you immediately know what Hugh's fate is going to be from here on out. Because throughout the course of the game, you actually do learn Hugh's backstory a little bit. I should probably mention this right now. It's not really important. So Hugh's surname is Williams, and his surname is only ever said twice throughout this entire game. I'm not kidding. I kept track of how many times Hugh's surname was said, and it's only been said twice. So Hugh is also 40 years old. I don't know if that's irrelevant or not, but so Hugh was an orphan. So Hugh was an orphan and was taken in by people he really cared about. But then one day he moved out and then never saw them again. Like, he doesn't know what happened to them. I think, I can't remember all the details correctly. So if I get anything wrong here, then I'm sorry. It's just, I can't keep track of everything. But yeah, that's basically what Hugh's story is, and it's kind of relevant throughout the course of the story too. Like, I never even brought it up until now because it kind of wasn't relevant. But okay, so the duo confront and manage to destroy her. But before 8 dissipates, she tells Diana to let the Earth know about the pain that Dr. Higgins went through. But because and now that 8's gone, Hugh and Diana don't have a lot of time left, since the dead filament is starting to get to Hugh now. So they board the orbital elevator. However, without 8's control, the dead filament gathers up and creates this giant bot. So the duo see a weapon called the Eraser and immediately know what they have to do, which leads to arguably one of the most hyped scenes I have ever seen in video game history. Like legit. This is okay. Legit. This segment is kind of similar to Donkey Kong Bonanza in a way, where you're slowly going up and up and up. But rather than just getting a fake out ending, instead what you're getting in this scene is actually everything that that the game has been building up to. Where you need where the dead filament is where you actually see the true strengths that you actually do see the bonds that Hugh and Diana have built up to this point. So you can actually see it in this point where Hugh asks that if Diana is ready for a new life. So after destroying the giant bot, Hugh is almost out of time now. So they quickly make it to a cargo shuttle, which Hugh tells Diana to get in, and he starts to push it off the station. But then it's here where we see that there isn't. It's here that we see that there isn't enough power inside of off of it isn't learned that there isn't enough power inside the cargo shuttle. So Hugh has to use a so Hugh uses his suit battery to power it up. Oh yeah, the suit batteries. Yeah, the suit battery, they use it, they kind of use it. It doesn't really seem to serve any purpose in the story up until now. Like I don't know what the I don't know what the I guess the suit battery uh is meant to power up, like the suit battery is meant to power up Hugh's suit, but it's never really established as like a core element in the story. Like it's never even remotely important up until now. So I'm surprised that they even acknowledge the suit battery at all. And once the battery's in place, it's here that Hugh reveals to Diana that he is infected by the dead filament. To which Diana desperately tells Hugh that she wants to go to Earth with him, but then Hugh tells Diana that she'll be okay on her own. And so the cargo shuttle leaves, and so the cargo shuttle blasts off to Earth, while Hugh dies at the cradle. And in the post-credit scene, we see Diana has landed on a beach, which is something that sorry, which is the thing, which is a place. Again, another thing I forgot until now. Where I forgot until now. Yeah, Hugh lived on a beach, and it's where Diana wanted to go the most. So it makes sense that that she would crash land on a beach. So Diana looks back to the Earth and says that she's ready, which is mirroring what Hugh asked earlier, if she's ready for a new life. And okay, after finishing the main story, you unlock Unknown Signal, where it's basically just a bunch of trials in order to unlock a suit mod that allows Hugh to stand the effects of the dead filament. And once you beat the final, an even harder version of the final boss, you get an extra scene with Cabin. Well, it's not really a scene; it's more dialogue. You get some dialogue from Cabins, saying that that you've returned and that you're alone this time. And so the person that Cabin must be referring to is Hugh. Oh yeah, Cabin. So Cabin isn't really much of an important character throughout the story. He mainly serves as just sort of an assistant throughout the shelter. Like he's not really relevant throughout the story all that much. So I guess it's nice to see that he got some recognition in some extra dialogue. But okay, so all right. So right. So Pragmata. So I think Pragmata might have helped me further figure out. I think this game might have helped me further figure out why I don't like the climax of Donkey Kong Bonanza all that much, and it's because, okay, while both K. Rool and 8's Twist sudden reveal as villains weren't foreshadowed at all, it's what Pragmata does that Donkey Kong Bonanza doesn't is that it actually establishes a legit motive for why 8 is doing the things that she's doing, and she's doing it because, well, it's what Dr. Higgins supposedly wanted. Of course, I don't think it's really what Dr. Higgins wanted. It again, it's not clear, but I don't think it's what he wanted. I'll let you guys decide. Um, I'll let you guys decide that. But for K. Rool in Donkey Kong Bonanza, he wants to turn the world into rotten banana mush because he wants to. Okay, I legit went back and I legit went back to playing Donkey Kong Bonanza to find any hints that would to find anything that has a K. Rool with a motivation for why he's doing the things he's doing, but I could not find anything that leads to a motive. So it makes you think that he's doing this because he wants to, which isn't exactly a good motive if you really think about it. Because like, why exactly does he want to why exactly does he want to turn the world into into banana mush, and why does he want to eat rotten bananas? Like, I know this is supposed to be parallel to Donkey Kong because Donkey Kong is willing to eat any bananas as long as they're not rotten. But here, K. Rool wants to eat rotten bananas. So, and while I do like that aspect that mirrors what Donkey Kong is, it doesn't sit right with me, you know. For the motive, I mean, not the not the not the parallel. But you know, for and Pragmata does something also does something similar because 8 is supposed to be sort of a reflection of Diana because both of them are supposed to both of them were modeled off of Daisy, except Diana was made while Daisy had long hair, and 8 was made while Daisy had short hair. So you could say that the designs were being upgraded as time went along. So um, and all right, okay, sorry. So and okay, so I've seen a lot of people online say that they don't like Hugh dying. Like they either were confused or upset about Hugh dying at the end of Pragmata, but Hugh dying, if you do, supposedly dying, I should say, is supposed to further mirror how Diana and 8 are mirrored off of each other, because both of them are Pragmata who are designed to help out mankind, and both of them have had humans that they deeply cared about who lost everyone they ever cared about, because because both Hugh and Dr. Higgins, um, as I've mentioned, don't have anyone left except their pragmatic companions. So, while 8 got dissipated, um, and while 8 got dissipated, Diana went back to Earth to. Diana went back to Earth by Diana going to Earth by herself meant to be meant to be because right before Hugh sends Diana to Earth, he says that he tells Diana that she can't rely on him forever because obviously humans don't live a long time. So him dying is supposed so you dying, or again supposedly dying here, is supposed to further establish the fact that because throughout the course of the game, Hugh and Diana have needed each other, have always have had to rely on each other. So by Hugh dying, it gives Diana a chance to finally learn to start learning stuff on her own, because throughout the course of the game, she's been learning stuff from Hugh. Uh, she's learned how to be human through Hugh, and now that she's had all this experience, it's time for her to use that experience to live her own life on Earth. But yeah, again, if you haven't played Unknown Signal and haven't gotten that suit mod and then all that, then you wouldn't have gotten that extra dialogue with Cabin. But anyway, like with Donkey Kong Bonanza, as much as I would like I don't so like with Donkey Kong Bonanza, I don't see a sequel for Pragmata coming anytime soon. Because as much as I would like to see one, it doesn't. The story of Pragmata seems pretty much finished at this point. Like, I don't really know how you can expand on this. Supposedly both Donkey Kong Bonanza and Pragmata were developed around the same time, so again, I don't see a sequel to this game happening anytime soon. Like, I've heard people say across the internet that they want to see a sequel to Pragmata, but the question is, how do you expand? How would, if there were going to be a sequel in the process, how would you expand on this? Like, how would this even work? You know? Anyway, yeah, I guess that's yeah, yeah, I don't yeah, but anyway, I guess that's going to be it for this review of Pragmata. Like, as I've said, this is a really good game, and even though there are a few minor flaws that I have with this game, it's really good, In fact, I think this is one of the peak moments for Capcom, especially since a lot of time and effort was put into this, and the fact that we all had to wait nearly 6 years for this game to come out, it just shows how much time, and the fact that the game was delayed shows that the team really cared about how the project wanted to turn out, because if this game did get released back in 2022 like it was originally planned, then what do you think we would have gotten then? Back in 20 because back when this game was first shown off in 2020, it kind of looked like the game would be taking place on Earth, but that doesn't seem to be the case now. So obviously the story got updated. So obviously there were a lot of updates made to the story along the way. So, anyway, I give this game a Thomas. Okay, so now for the rating. I give this game a Th0m4s575 rating of also a 9 out of 10, like with Donkey Kong Bonanza. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I gave this game the same rating, but it's more. But this 9 out of 10 is more slightly. But this 9 out of 10 is now, again, this isn't a perfect game, but this is a because there are a few slight problems that I have with the game, such as the confusing choices that certain characters make throughout the story, and then the damn training simulations. Oh my gosh, those just gave me a nightmare. I know I haven't talked about the side missions and all that, but I know I haven't talked about the training simulations, but my gosh, were some of those a nightmare. But yeah, anyways, that's gonna be it for this review of Pragmata. Like this video if you liked this review. Share this video with others that you know and spread the word that I made a review of Pragmata and all that. And of course, subscribe if you want to see future video game reviews like this one. Um, and then I guess, of course, comment down what you thought of this game. If you've played it yourself or if you've watched a playthrough just for the story or and all that. Well, anyways, that's going to be it for me. So thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.